Hey, welcome back to the Off Ramp, everyone. I am your host, Thomas Jason Anderson. Sorry for having a later show today. I was doing some research and some other things in the political world. You know, we have the midterms coming up, so I was looking at a few Senate races. So I pushed this back a little longer. I was going to do a recording and just release it tonight, but I said I'll just do the live and the recording at the same time. Save me some time in what I'm doing. But yeah, so tonight I'm talking about we are at the point that it doesn't matter what you believe, and we are at that point. Uh, whether it's political ideology, whether it is national sovereignty, whether it's your faith or your religion. Um, it really doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't. Not to the world outside of you. It only matters to you at this point. That's where we are. So each of us as individuals, what matters to us, but it doesn't extend past us. Unfortunately, we're in that place now, and we think that it does, but it doesn't. There's too much disinformation. There's too much information in the zone for any of us to come of one mind, basically. There are groups out there of people who think that they're, of one mind, true. But when it comes to large populations, an entire nation, etc., we're all fractured. Every country is. And it seems like every nation is holding on for dear life, the leadership at least, to keep things going, looking towards a brighter future. And so we look at the Caribbean and we look at Cuba, right? And as I told everyone before, times are changing and you can believe in the communist ideology if you want. You can believe in capitalism. You can believe in whatever you want. You can believe in Trump. You could hate Trump. It doesn't really matter what you believe on the Cuba issue. The fact of the matter is that those people are coming back together. They were a split people. Hundreds of thousands, millions were peeled off the island and pushed into the United States and other places around the world. And they're coming back together again as one island nation with the help of the United States. So it doesn't matter what you think about why it's happening, what what you might believe what happened in the past. None of that matters. We're at a point now where it is what it is, right? And Cuba is what it is. That's just the bottom line. So when you look at instances like leadership in the Caribbean, you have leaders in different island nations, different nations in the Caribbean, who have been pushing for like some type of pushback against the United States, against President Trump when it comes to Cuba, and sort of people calling for people to stand up against the United States. Where I've seen different leaders get on, the president of Trinidad and Tobago. I've seen people get on President Irfan Ali. And these criticisms to me, like I said, I don't think it really matters what anybody believes. You can criticize those two leaders, but if you look at what's going on, they made the right choice. How do we know that? Well, while these other leaders in the Caribbean and in the region were calling on Irfan Ali and the president of Trinidad to go against the United States, they were asking them to do that while Cuba was in the process of releasing, I think, 56 prisoners, political prisoners. And on top of that, they were saying that when Cuba was in the process of opening up negotiations with the United States. As a matter of fact, they were already negotiating with the United States, with the Trump administration. That news came out today. So how does that even look? Right? Where China and Russia and the other foreign countries have abandoned Cuba, and the leaders in the Caribbean in the region who continue to think that there's something going on there, some communist revolution still happening in Cuba, they're trying to push people publicly, leaders of countries in the region, to go against the United States while Cuba's negotiating with the United States, while Cuba's releasing political prisoners. That's a tough stance to take, and it's the wrong stance to take in the eyes of history. When a group of people are coming back together that have been separated for a very long time, and they're doing it in a peaceful way, and then outsiders try to step in and prevent that coming together. Why is anyone doing that? It doesn't really matter what you believe anymore. It doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter what any of us believe about the situation. You just have to look at what's going on. Families are coming back together. It's happening in a peaceful way. Is it anyone's business outside of that island, like how that happens if they're doing it peacefully? I don't see how there can be any kind of, I would say the same thing for any nation in this region. If any nation in this region were fractured and half of its people, or a large portion, 20, 30% of its people, were forced out of that country, and then decades later, that country decided, okay, we're going to come together again in a peaceful way, why would anyone stand in the way of that? See, it just doesn't matter what you believe anymore. Our all of it doesn't matter what I believe. All of our ideologies don't matter anymore. And the truth and reality is Cuba is becoming a new and renewed island where their people are coming back together. And like I said before, it's in a peaceful way. And how was this made possible? Well, it was made possible by this guy, Donald Trump. People don't want to give him credit because they don't like him politically. But like I said, it doesn't matter what we think anymore on politics, because all of these systems are broken when you really look at them. And so, what do we really need to be looking at? Just the results. Donald Trump does a lot of bad things. He says a lot of bad things. But when it comes to the island of Cuba, he's done everything right. He got rid of Maduro, and then he got rid of the Iranians. That's what needed to be done in order to allow Cuba to be free again and allow their people to come back together again. That's what had to be done. Those were the steps that were taken. He took meticulous steps. The president led our military to do some incredible stuff. That I'm telling you, man, history books are going to. This is amazing what's happening. It's just amazing what's happening. And so we have all these people jumping in, talking their ideology, and they're against these results because of their ideology. But forget about what you believe. Just look at the results. Sometimes it does take a little fire, it takes a little war to create peace. I'm sorry. And we were at a place in the world where we were at loggerheads, we were jammed. Neither side was going to move. So this was bound to happen. But thank God it happened in an organized way, where the world is having an issue with energy prices. We've got Guyana stable. We have Venezuela getting back online. The Russian oil has been taken off of sanctions. Like we're getting back to like normal business, which is where we all want to be. And when it comes to the future of Iran, that's not America's thing. We can have a hand and help out, but I mean, if you look at the region, I'm sure the Saudis and others will have much more say of what's going to be happening in Iran going forward than we will. And if you look at Egypt right now, they're putting troops, and they're building up on the Sinai border with Egypt with Israel. So that's another thing there. So things are still happening in the Middle East. It doesn't look like it's going to be peaceful anytime soon, which means that the Caribbean and our region, when it comes to energy, we are the most stable place. We all chose peace, including the Cubans. The Cubans chose to have negotiations with the Trump administration for a peaceful transition. This part of the world has chosen peace. We have not chosen war. Okay. And it really doesn't matter what any of us think. We chose peace. And so now we have to work it out, all of us, in a peaceful way, to continue down the road of peace, to keep this region stable, and to keep it prosperous. That's not only for us, but for the entire world, because I'm telling you, the Middle East isn't going to quiet down anytime soon. It just isn't. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what I believe. That place is not going to calm down anytime soon. And so that makes our region even that much more important. And on top of that, it shows just how special we are as a people in this region, because we are adhering to and holding on to peace, even though it's not easy. Okay. It's hard. We have big disagreements. There's a lot of people who get mad at me for talking on issues in countries here and there and everywhere. Right. But we're all in this region together, guys. And what affects me and what affects you, it happens to both sides. We're all in the same economy, basically. That's just what's going on. South Florida is a part of this region, the Caribbean region. It just is what it is. And so we're in this boat together. And I've seen this boat when when it's overrun with drug lords, and when it's overrun with terrorists, and it's overrun with all kinds of corrupt officials. I've seen that. I've lived through it in Miami in the 80s with with the cocaine cowboys. I've seen the crack epidemic. I've seen all of it. I lived through it all. And I know better than anyone in this region, and we all know in this region, we're all better off without all that stuff here. We just are. And so it doesn't matter what you believe ideologically. What matters is the result is that we have peace here in our region, and we fight out our differences through political ways, through politics, through organizing, through voting, through elections, through social media, through the media. Um, that's how we need to do it in our region here, because that's what keeps us here prosperous, all of us, the Jamaicans, the Barbadians, the Venezuelans, the Cubans, the Guyanese, the Surinamese, the Brazilians, all of us. We're all in the same, we're all in the same thing together here. And so it's just imperative we keep it peaceful. And when peaceful transitions are happening, we should support that. We shouldn't be knocking it. We definitely shouldn't be having leaders going out there telling other leaders not to go against America and to support Cuba and going against America while Cuba is negotiating with the United States, while Cuba is releasing political prisoners. It's just not a good idea, guys. Probably shouldn't do that. Okay. So it doesn't really matter what I believe or what you believe, but that's their island. That's their thing. And they're now negotiating peacefully for a transition for them, for their families to come back together. And I celebrate that. I'm glad to see it. I was hoping that we would finally see a peaceful ending here with this fight that's been happening with Cuba in this region for so long. It's going to be better for all of us that it happens peacefully this way. And so we should be happy right now. Things are going in a very good direction. There's peace. There are issues, but these issues are issues that we can work out politically. These are issues we can work out as a community, and we can rely upon each other and get help from each other to help to get over these issues in individual island nations and individual nations in the region, and even here in South Florida. So thanks guys for joining me right now. Thanks for coming on, and I appreciate it, because the whole reason why I'm doing this is because this isn't the stuff I'm saying. It's not being said. It has to be said. And I'm able to say it because I've got the experience here, and I've been from this region my entire life. So I understand what's happening from an over top view, but also on the ground view, having lived it. And so for everyone who comes on, and everyone who comments and who shares and likes and everything else, I really appreciate it. I'm going to continue down this path. I have plans. I am working on things. Like I said, I'm working on some of the political stuff. I'm working on some media stuff, but I'm going to keep this platform going. I love doing it. And as the Caribbean unfolds, as this region unfolds, I'm going to be right there, right here with you guys, just to say it how it is. Because it doesn't matter what any of us believe ideologically or politically. It is what it is in this region. And all you guys know that. The Jamaicans, the Guyanese, the Trinis, we all know, man, in this region, it is what it is. All right. And let's keep it that way. But it is what it is on your support for me. And I appreciate it, guys. I will see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Now I'ma put it down like that. I'm leaving, I ain't coming back. You don't like the way I act, anyway. You really don't have to react. Don't try to change my mind, in fact. Honey, I've already packed all my stuff. We're no longer kids, let's move on. And you are not my kid, so I'm done. Please don't make me pull my gun. Sorry boy, I can't be the one. You know it, yeah. Nothing lasts forever. You know that a change will make it better. You know that nothing lasts forever. You know that, yeah, a change will make it better. There's no one to blame, you see. Maybe we're not meant to be. There are plenty more fish in the sea anyway. Every day's a different thing, so I'm not into wedding rings. It ain't personal, it's the way I think.